Good evening, guys. Welcome back to my channel. You're on Binge the Republic SA. So, you know why you clicked on the thumbnail. We're discussing rugby. So, first things first, can I just say what a phenomenal game that was. First things, I never thought that this is going to be the scoreline that anybody would have actually predicted. As a record-breaking score against New Zealand, 35 points to 7. I believe that the last time that, the last highest score that New Zealand lost was with 21 points. So this is 28 points. So it's an all-time low, I guess, if one can call it that, for these guys. But this game was reffed by Matthew Carley, and he did seem a bit trigger happy with the whistle. But, you know, other than that, I don't think he did a bad job. So let's just get into the facts. South Africa is now ranked #1 in the world. We already knew in our hearts they were #1, but they actually made it to an actual billboard which says, again, #1, so which is awesome. Of course, one of the groundbreaking things that happened as well alongside this was the fact that we, for the first time ever that I've ever heard of in rugby, we went with a 7-1 split. That 7-1 split was obviously due to the fact that Kwagga Smith was selected instead of Willie LaRue, and I actually don't know for what reason that change was made, but yeah, a 7-1 split against a 6-2 split against New Zealand. So I guess when you want to beat New Zealand, you get a 7-1 split going. You know, just to show them you can do it. So let's quickly go through a couple of things that I actually noticed about this game. So first things first is that New Zealand really had poor discipline for this game, and I guess one can say it could be because they haven't played for a month or whatever the case might be. The last game they played was the Bledisloe Cup, and the Cup 2 was the last game, and then of course that was almost like a B squad. So their first squad that played tonight really played the Bledisloe 1. So at the end of the day, the guys seemed a bit rusty. They've been struggling to get front foot ball, and of course South Africa was chasing them backwards the whole time, even when they had the ball. So let's just have a look at the stats before we go into the nitty-gritty of it. So if you consider the actual point difference, these stats wouldn't really make much sense. Possession, 53% in favor of New Zealand, 47% to South Africa. Tackles made, 94 to New Zealand, 158 to South Africa. Tackles missed, only 19 by New Zealand, 40 by South Africa. That doesn't tell you that the scoreline that we've actually seen was accurate, I would say. Meters gained by New Zealand, 474, 554 by South Africa. So once again, yes, that is a bit of a difference, but it's not that much of a difference when you consider the scoreline. The scoreline, to me, says a lot more than what actually transpired on the field, I would say. And then, of course, on the lineouts, I think this is really where it hurt New Zealand a little bit. New Zealand lost 5 out of their 15 lineouts, whereas South Africa only lost 2. And I believe that was in very crucial moments. So quite a difference. And then mauls, of course, South Africa loves their maul, 8 mauls to 3 against New Zealand. So as I mentioned earlier, the actual discipline of New Zealand was quite poor, and at some stage they actually had 2 yellow cards, so meaning that South Africa was playing against 13 men. On the 14th minute, Scott Barrett was playing the 9, and they were already on a yellow card warning for quite a number of other infringements. So he got the brunt of it, and meaning that he got sent off with the yellow. 2 minutes later, Sam Cane, the captain, he infringed as well and got sent off as well. So one would think that we would be up 28 points by this point, considering we've been camping out in the New Zealand half for probably the better part of 15 to 20 minutes, when New Zealand barely ever touched the ball. So, you know, when you consider the possession percentages for the first 20 minutes, they really had nothing. So it's quite strange how much they clawed back of that in the later phases of the game, yet still losing by such a margin. So that's what happened there. And then in the 39th minute, Scott Barrett once again, he drills into Malcolm Marx on the ground, no arms, shoulder charge type of idea, and therefore got a yellow card as well again. And that yellow card then, because he already got a yellow card, got upgraded to a red. Let's have a look at the tries scored. The try scored was, the first one was done by Sia Khaleesi in the 18th minute. The review was made on that try, and at first it looked sort of like he was held out, but on further review it looked like the ball touched the line, and therefore the actual try was awarded. And the 34th minute, Arendse, the try scoring machine, intercepted a ball, I think it was by Geordie Barrett, if I recall. It was one of the Barrett brothers that tried to make a pass, and he actually intercepted it and then made his own try. At this point, it is now up 14-0, because Mani does kick over both those balls, and that's really the end of it, of the first half of scoring. They're going to half at 14-0. New Zealand did seem just before half time that they actually managed to score a try, but if memory serves, that was a knock-on upon further review, so that was not allowed, and therefore the score on half time, as I mentioned, was 14-0. And so at this point we're thinking, wow, in the scrum we were absolutely dominant, and it didn't help that Lomax was taken off. I think he's a tight prop, yes. It looked quite serious, and yeah, he went off the field, and he's really one of their number one props. So really, it wasn't a good day for them at the office when it came to scrums. And of course, at later phases, when because Scott Barrett was off, and yeah, it looked kind of funny, because when you have a look at the scrum, you had one of the Barrett brothers as one of the flanks, so it really looked lopsided a little bit. But yeah. Then in the very first 2 minutes of the second half, Malcolm Marx makes a beeline to the try line of a little bit of a trick play that they made on the sidelines, and he manages to score his 17th try. Now that makes him the highest scoring forward in terms of tries in this green and gold, so which is quite great. Then after that, in the 59th minute, Bongi Mbunambi goes over from a maul, and it is now 28 to 0. In the 67th minute, on a line out, after seeing how many New Zealand players are committing to that mauls, there's another trick play, and Kwagga Smith beats 3 defenders, and he goes over the try line as well. Mani Libbok, of course, from whatever percentages he's had in the previous games, 50 something odd, has 100% kicking ratio in this game. So 5 out of 5, and yes, at the beginning I thought, hey, they're putting those tries right under the posts, so he can really kick it over. But the further the game went on, he kicked those balls from all over the place. So he really did a good job. Mani, of course, I don't want to say to everybody that's been following my videos, you know, I told you so, but but I told you so. Unfortunately, one cannot say from one game that he's really found his form, but really, if you if you had to pick a game for him to find his form, this was certainly it. And it was a beautiful display that he did. And not just that at poles, but also his pinpoint kicks on those sidelines. Man, that set up so many different tries for us, because it was so pinpoint and it was so close to the try line. It was just something to behold. In the second half, of course, we put on our whole our whole bench, and that whole bench included 7 forwards, as I mentioned, and that was quite something to behold, because after those first starting players really battered New Zealand, the second set came on and they really did some damage as well, which is quite great to see. Cameron Roygaard, in the 71st minute, he finally manages to break a line, and he manages to score a try for New Zealand as a consolation, which Richie Mwanga, of course, kicks over. So there's 7 up at this point. And for another couple of phases, we've been playing quite backwards and forwards, and stealing the ball, and then get the ball taken off, and then stealing the ball again. And really, it was an entertaining game to watch, and I think it was also so much more entertaining because we were so high up on scoring. I would have really been pulling my hair out, if I had any hair, if the score was a lot closer and all of that happened. But really, it was a very nice game to watch. As I mentioned, Matthew Corley, I think he did a decent job. He could have been worse, like some of the other guys, like Andrew Brace. Man, I cannot handle that guy. Unfortunately, I cannot stand him. The way his decision making sometimes is a bit ridiculous. But anyways, so yeah, this was a full performance, in my opinion. Really a full performance. The forwards were firing on all cylinders, and the backline, man, they were the guys that was so much on form today. They were just playing the game the way we always wanted them to play, with ball in hand. Faf was playing flipping well. Just everybody was doing their jobs. Honestly, I can't fault any of the players really for messing up way more than they should. I can only praise them, because they all played a complete game, which is quite something to behold. And if you didn't see this game, I would suggest you do take some time apart and really go and have a look at what actually happened. So that was really my reaction. Guys, what was your thoughts? I think we really stand a good chance at the World Cup if we can maintain this form. Hopefully we didn't peak too early. I know it's only 2 weeks away, but 2 weeks, I mean, we can see in a month's time what happened to New Zealand. They sort of became a bit rusty. So I really hope that we can pull it together and be on that first game against Scotland and really do some damage there as well. Yeah, so guys, thank you so much for taking time to watch my video. I'm so pleased that you guys have been following me through this journey. And please comment in the comment section. You know what you need to do. Like, subscribe if you feel that it's good to do so. And I'll see you guys in the pre-game of the next game that we will be playing, which will be against Scotland in the warm-up on the first game of the World Cup. And I'm excited. Can you guys start feeling it? I can feel it. Anyways, have a good evening, guys. Sleep well, be blessed, stay safe, and cheers.